Hello and welcome. I am Roy at Ninjazilla90, and today I will be reviewing the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla X Kong The New Empire Scylla figure, or Scylla, however you prefer to pronounce it. Yeah, I prefer to pronounce this as Scylla. I don't know what the official pronunciation is, whether it's Scylla, whether it's Scylla, even though I've watched a Godzilla X Kong movie. I can't remember if they've actually mentioned this kaiju's name in that movie, but yeah, reason why I call it Scylla, yeah, because to me, Scylla just sounds way too similar to Zilla. The relabeled or repackaged Godzilla 1998 design that totally got annihilated in Final Wars. But yeah, that's another subject for another day. Today I am focusing on this figure, and I will be letting you know my thoughts and opinions on it, going over detail, articulation, and playability, and giving it a final score to let you guys know, how much I feel like this figure is worth buying if you are a fan of Godzilla, the Monsterverse, or just, the Hiya Toys Godzilla figures in general. Yeah, to let you guys know what I think. So, with that said, let's get started. And now, starting things off with the box, because, I have to talk about really cool looking boxes on this channel when I have them, because unfortunately, I don't keep them. After I do my figure reviews, I discard them, because I just simply don't have the room for them. But, anyway, as you can see, first things first, we see a really cool picture of the Godzilla X Kong New Empire, or Hiya Toys Godzilla X Kong The New Empire Scylla, or Scylla, however you prefer to pronounce it, front and center on the box. And of course, we have the Exquisite Basic branding right there by Hiya Toys. We have Godzilla X Kong The New Empire, which is the title of the movie, and we have the name of the figure, which says Scylla or Scylla, depending on how you pronounce it. I mean, it's pretty much the same, I guess, if you pronounce the SC as like just simple S, or the SC kind of like SK, like in Sky, and like SKY, but it's SCY. I don't know. I pronounce it as Scylla, so I'm just going to call it Scylla for the rest of the video, even if I'm pronouncing it wrong, because like I said at the beginning of the video, to me, Scylla, even if that is the correct pronunciation, just sounds way too similar to Zilla. But anyway, we have the Legendary logo right there. We have the Monsterverse logo right there. And we have the Toho logo right there. We have a warning label at the bottom left of the box. Choking hazard, small parts. So yeah, don't mistake this for a Snickers bar and try to eat it, because yeah, it's not going to do so well in your stomach. So I hope and pray we all know better by now. But at least I hope so. But anyway, we have ages 16 and up, so all you 15-year-olds, you're out of luck. And of course, it also says ages 15 plus right there, not for children under 3. That's obvious. And of course, we have the Hiya Toys logo right there at the bottom right corner. Side of the box, we have a really cool picture of Scylla front and center. We can see all his front tentacles on his face, and we can see the upper shell on his back and everything. Not too much of his legs though, because it's just a small square picture. But anyway, other side of the box, we have a side view of Scylla here. Or like I said, I was just gonna refer to it as Scylla. You can see kind of the sort of like his back shell, kind of like curls up, sort of almost like a hermit crab shell a little bit. So it's kind of cool. To be honest, this reminds me of sort of like a hybrid between Komunga and Ibra. That's what this legendary MonsterVerse kaiju reminds me of. But anyway, we have the Godzilla X Kong New Empire title logo on the back as well. We have another picture of the figure front and center right there. We have Hiya Toys, produced by Hiya Toys, blah 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 blah. Bunch of information about the figure. We have a bunch of information right there written in Chinese. A QR code. A barcode. Nobody cares about MonsterVerse Legendary logo yet again, and a warning label in Chinese letting you know it's not a piece of sushi. So yeah, don't get hungry and try to eat it yet again. Bottom of the box, we just have the movie title logo. Top of the box, pretty much the same thing as the bottom. It's just, blue. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for the box. Now on to the figure. And now, here we have the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire Scylla figure right here in all of his, spider-like, crab, giant squid-looking glory. Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid of multiple different creatures. But, anyway, taking a look at this figure, at first glance, it definitely is well detailed. It almost kind of looks like a sort of like a giant snow crab, a little bit, but it's not. Because also you can see it does have tentacles. These tentacles are a very rubbery material, so they are very pliable, so you can move them around. They're not articulated or anything, they just, they're just made to be shifted around, if that's what you want to do. And also, if you bring him up close, you can see he has some very bright blue sapphire eyes. And of course, you can see that really huge, curled up, shell on his back. Very similar to, I can't remember, like those prehistoric, prehistoric, octopus, squids that have, this big, seashell, curled seashell thing on their back. That's kind of almost like what this reminds me of as well, like the shape of it, but it's, very spiky, at the top, so very similar to, sort of like a, hermit crab, or what we have, in South Louisiana, blue crabs, but it's a orange, red color, similar to a snow crab. But yeah, it's very cool. And like I said, it kind of reminds me of sort of a hybrid between Ibra, which is the sea monster, and Komunga, which is the giant tarantula, spider type of thing. So it's kind of like a hybrid between the two. And so I look at this one, with a little bit of the Kraken added to it with those tentacles. It looks really nice. But as far as the ball joints that actually attach the legs to the body, I find those are a bit stiff on this figure. But it could be the sort of this webbed membrane that prohibits that too. That goes in between these spider legs, sort of. So it could be very much this rubbery piece that prohibits articulation and not stuck paint. But anyway, I really don't want to force anything and break anything, so that's why I haven't really, bothered with that too much. But as far as articulation, other than that, I think it's articulated really well. Although I do have the feet, if you look at it, I do have its feet, it's like curled, like it's spiked feet, like curled in. Basically because I find when you have them out like they should be, I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. It really doesn't stand all that well when you put the legs up. Like, you can bend it and everything, like you can stretch out the, I don't know if these would be knees or elbows at the top, but you can stretch those out to try to get it to stand better. But yeah, I notice, mine just likes to, plop down like that. Could be just mine, but I find this figure, if you're trying to put the these little appendages like they should be, out and have it stand on the spiky parts, it really just doesn't really stand too well. So that's already points being taken off, because this one just, the way it's made, it's just the way the body's made technically, so you can't really expect this one to stand on its own too much like a Godzilla or a Kong figure. So that's most likely why. It's a big dramatic difference in body structure, but other than that, I think the articulation and detail is pretty good, as you are seeing. We have a ball joint. I believe these are all ball joints in the that connect the legs to the body, and also you can see sort of has these smaller little appendages underneath its body. It's very similar to sort of if you would, especially if you, like I said, you live in South Louisiana, you eat a lot of ball crawfish. You ever turn a crawfish over and you see all those little sort of little bitty tiny appendage hairs under its tail. That's what these remind me of. So it's kind of something like that. But anyway, as far as articulation, the whatever you call this, elbow knees, I guess, knee elbows, whatever you want to refer them to as, legs or arms, I don't know. But anyway, these hinges work really, really well. That one has a little, I would have maybe, probably a little stuck paint still in there. So I'll still have to work that one a bit. So, as you can see, you can bring them up and you can spread them out very well. Like so. Put them upside down if you want. But anyway, let's bend that back. So we do have a really good hinge. And those elbow knees, I guess that's what you want to call them. Whatever the correct name is for that body part. And of course we have this joint right here that moves forward and back on a hinge as well. So we can kind of move that. As you are seeing, we do have a lot of articulation with this figure. And of course, we do have the little claw or spikes on the or whatever you call these at the end of its legs, so that also bends forward and back. So I think this one does have a pretty good range of articulation over the Playmates Toys version. I don't have the Playmates Toys version, and I really don't plan to buy those because I'm mainly Hiya Toys first and foremost. But there is the Bandai Namco Godzilla action figure series that I'm kind of looking at. The ones that you can pop apart and like put together. I reviewed those. Yeah, I'm talking about those. I might get some more of those later, because those are pretty cool. But as far as Playmates, it's just not my thing. But anyway, getting back to this figure, if I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drum roll, please. And you can already see it's about to fall over. So yeah, like I said, I'm definitely taking points off because this figure really just doesn't stand all that well. So, but Hiya Toys is known for improving figures on future releases. So I'm guessing if they do a reissue of this one later on, that issue is going to be resolved. Because yeah, because I remember the original release of the Exquisite Basic Godzilla 2014. Yeah, that one had a lot of issues that they fixed with the Heat Ray version. So maybe if they make a new variant of this one later, that issue of this one falling over will be resolved. But anyway, until then, if that would happen or not, I have to give this figure a honest score of at least 7 out of 10. Not the best score ever, but it's not the worst score ever. I still think this figure is worth it, but I wouldn't recommend this to a casual Godzilla fan. I would only buy this one if you are a hardcore fan of both the Monsterverse movies and the Japanese Toho series, or if you're just like a hardcore fan of the Monsterverse. But if like you're a casual Godzilla fan just looking for like collectibles, I would stick with like Godzilla and maybe like Ghidorah and stuff, like the Lackey Kaiju. This is like, to be honest, this is like a Lackey Kaiju. This is not like, because like basically, if you watch Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, Godzilla takes this one out in like less than 2 seconds. Like it's really not. He really doesn't stay on screen all that long. So yeah. Anyway, but anyway, that's my full honest opinion. Do I think this one is worth like the $50-$60? Like I said, only if you're a real die-hard hardcore fan. Other than that, if you're just a casual fan, just looking for a few really good, highly detailed, highly articulated Godzilla figures here and there, this one's probably not for you. But if you're a hardcore fan, this would probably be up your alley. So that's my full thoughts and opinions on this figure. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up for this review. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your viewership is much appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay safe, take care, stay positive, stay powered up. God bless, and peace out.